Originally a launch title on the Wii U, Ubisoft Montpellier's survival horror zombie game was called Zombi, but when it was ported over to the PC, the PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, they renamed it to Zombi. You know, to make it less confusing. In Zombi, players gather supplies, store them in a central base location, but also venture out and complete a story mission by taking on gopher tasks for NPCs. It's played in first-person point of view with a small variety of melee weapons and upgradable firearms with a limited supply of ammunition. Death is a sort of permanent scenario. When your character dies or if he or she becomes infected, the player wakes up in the body of another person entirely. You can then wrench your belongings from the dead or undead fingers of your former self. It's sort of a neat mechanic, but in the end I just felt entirely detached from the game's protagonists. Zombi is a horrible game. Thinking back over all the games I've played so far this year, I truly think this might be my least favorite. I tested it on PC and I don't recommend it to anyone. Technical issues aside, Zombi's gameplay, style, and story choices all lead me to believe this is probably a bad game across all platforms. I always try to balance my reviews by stating both what a game does well and what it does poorly to let my viewers know what to expect from both ends of the spectrum. That way, even if they disagree with my final verdict, they're armed with enough data to make a more informed purchasing decision. And right now, as I sit here racking my brain trying to think of something I liked about Zombi, I can't think of a single thing. It's ugly. I know it's a zombie game, that much was evident by the super clever title, but even though it's a zombie game, there's absolutely no color saturation or contrast at all. 90% of the game is green. It is hands down the greenest game I've ever played. The best way to describe this game is by saying that it is visually boring. Textures are all pretty low resolution. There's a good amount of pop-in, and there's this super strange visual effect going on when you walk through water that looks like someone forgot to upscale it when bumping up the resolution. The character models are all pretty dated. I ran into at least 24 of the same British foot guards. I get it, the game is set in London. I play in the tube, I'm using a cricket bat, dozens of bearskin hats. This game is so ultra-stereotypically British, I think actual London is less British. I mean, what else is the game gonna do? Pop in a store called Fish and Chips? Oh, what the f***? The action, exploration, and combat? All boring. Melee attacks are all the same swing over and over again, like chopping wood or driving railway spikes. The zombies? 99% of them are completely non-threatening and can be easily taken out with a little patience and the starter cricket bat. Guns have absolutely no oomph to them. Explosions are, well, see for yourself. Wow. Zombies appear in such few numbers, they're never truly a threat, even during moments when the game tries to artificially amp up the pressure by playing exciting music and having NPCs shouting for you to hurry. If you're looking for scares, you'll find none here. There's a few jump scares now and then meant to catch you off guard, but then you realize, oh, it's just a zombie, I'm totally okay. I thought for a second I might have been in some real danger. The first 1/3 of my time with Zombi, the game showed on-screen prompts using keyboard inputs, which is what I was using. Then inexplicably started showing me Xbox 360 controller prompts, which wasn't even plugged into my PC. I tried to find the option to set input to keyboard only, but I couldn't find such a thing in the game's menu, and then randomly, out of the blue, it decided to change back and show me keyboard inputs again. I can't think of a single reason why the game would do that while my 360 controller was unplugged the entire time. And just when I thought I had enough and I was ready to quit on my own, the game simply forced my hand, and then this happened. I thought, maybe it's a fluke. I'll play through my 15 minutes of lost progress and try again. Same crash. Reboot my computer and make sure there's no extraneous programs running. Boom. 3rd time's the charm. So, to sum up, everything I've encountered with this game is bad. Boring visuals and combat, non-engaging story, glitchy to boot. It's nice to see that Ubisoft isn't asking full price for this, but there's no way in good conscience I could recommend this title to anyone. Save yourself the $20 and try something else. I wasn't expecting that much coming from Zombi, but this feels like a game from an entirely different era that didn't stand the test of time and didn't even receive the customary updates and patches to stay relevant.
This video is made possible through generous fan donations on Patreon.